Chester. So this is a three-part question. Do you support an independent school district for Dunwoody? And would you, if so, would you actively lobby for it? And why or why not?
Well, that's a fairly easy question. Yes, I fully support an independent school district in Dunwoody. I think everybody does, or nearly everybody, not everybody obviously, but you know, it's the strong consensus of the community that we'd all like an independent school district. I'm going to answer the third part next and say, you know, why, you know, for our children, for our property values, for all those reasons, for the desirability of this community. You know, I think everybody's home values would go up $50,000 to $100,000 overnight. Now, as to, you know, supporting it, yeah, I would fully support it. Obviously, the path to an independent school district doesn't lie through the city council. The path goes 30 miles south of here through the Gold Dome. And we need Tom Taylor and Fran Miller to lead that charge, and I would support them, and I would support, you know, an expenditure maybe to hire a lobbyist to assist them in their efforts and help lobby myself. I think that would be a reasonable expenditure by the city.
Mr. Westcott, your question.
Yes, I have supported this. I am all in favor for this. This is actually, well, it's so needed. And I'm going to go back to the third part of this question is why? Well, they've furloughed our teachers, they've increased our class sizes, and they haven't given them raises in 5 years. We've gone through 5 principals in Dunwoody High School in 5 years. We're fortunate to have Noel Maloof on for a second-year role. That's great. But we are having problems in DeKalb County, folks. We really do. And we're having problems also at a state level, and this is actually a part of that argument. We are number 2 in the nation in graduation rates, and we're in the top 10 in spending. That's a horrible return on investment. So I've been out there and I've been fighting it. So going to supporting this bill and lobbying for it, my answer is yes. Tom Taylor actually asked for me to go down to the House subcommittee this past year when he put it into the subcommittee and speak in favor of this bill. I spoke about how this is going to impact us on an economic level because we were on probation. Probation is just horrible. I mean, if we lost discreditation, it would be a train wreck. Luckily, Terry Knoll has worked very hard with the Dunwoody Parents Group to work for dual accreditation. I'm very proud to be a part of the dual accreditation run, and we should be proud of that. Anyway, I will totally lobby for it. My store's downtown. I've run into John Hennigan at the DeKalb meetings at the Gold Dome. I will be there and I will fight for this bill. I promise you that.
Will respond.
First part of your question, yes, I do support a Dunwoody, sorry, better watch how I say it, Dunwoody city school system for our city. And yes, I would actively do what I could to participate both at the grassroots level and at any other level possible to help that become a reality. Reasons why, you know, when we look at the quality of our schools under DeKalb leadership, they definitely have been taking a hit pretty strongly. You compare the teacher salaries here in DeKalb County compared to, say, those of Gwinnett or some of the area school systems, I don't want to say it's not comparable, but it's definitely a noticeable difference. And I think one of the other big reasons that I'm for it, and it's something, you know, it's an underlying theme of my campaign, is I think it's one more step that we could help Dunwoody become an autonomous community. We will select our own school board. We will have a school board that selects our superintendent. We'll set the standards that we here in Dunwoody want to see for our kids and to help them not only get a quality education, but have that much better of a chance to get a quality higher education. And as well, it will help our community, it will help our property values. It's an all-around win. It's a slam dunk to me.
Thank you, Mr. Mercer. Please pass the mic to Mr. Eads.
Well, I think you guys probably already know the answer to this from my opening comments. you know, in a perfect world, I would love to see us figure out a way to bring DeKalb along with us on this journey to improve the school system, because ultimately, Dunwoody is part of DeKalb County, and we're gonna, if they sink, we're gonna sink with them. But I just think that's unrealistic at this point. I've talked to quite a few people, and there's a big mess in the DeKalb County school system, and one of the problems is how much money they're spending per student, and the results they're getting. Obviously, DeKalb is spending some of the more dollars than many other school systems per student, and the results are horrible. So certainly from a tax saving perspective, you know, the children are the foundation of our neighborhood, of our city and our neighborhoods, and I would love to see young families like my business partner who moved to East Cobb. I would love to see them come to Dunwoody and live, but they can't because of the school system. You know, I hate to see that happening. He would love to live here, but they just can't do it. So that's probably why, and absolutely I would lobby for it. I would do things personally. You know, whether I'm elected or not, I think this is a very important step forward in the city of Dunwoody. I think one thing that's important, though, is that the city council needs to set an example and being fiscally responsible with the city, so that the citizens that are actually against this can have some hope that when a school board is elected, that they will be fiscally responsible also.
Let's be honest, education is the #1 issue facing Dunwoody right now. And everything else pales in comparison to it. If we have good schools, it really doesn't matter how many trails we have or a nice ball field here or there. Schools lead everything. The education of our children is the most important. I hope nobody has to suffer through what my wife and I did last year when our daughter graduated from college and DeKalb County was on probation. If they would have lost accreditation, we wonder if she could have gotten into college. All the college applications out there say your child has to graduate from an accredited high school. And that's some tough stuff to sweat through. Am I in favor of a Dunwoody school system? Absolutely. Am I going to fight for it like crazy? You know, it's the biggest issue that's out there. As far as finances go, I mean, it's been announced, and Tom Taylor will make a presentation to City Council on Monday. It is fiscally doable. We could, if we get the same tax dollars that we're currently paying to DeKalb County, Dunwoody can operate a school system on about half of that. So we've got the funds out there to either increase the services to the children or to lower our tax rate. But I don't want this to be a tax issue. This is more important. Education of our children is again, #1 issue.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Mr. Shelton. Mr. Shelton, your opportunity to respond.
Thank you. The most important asset and the most valuable asset any of us have are our children. And their education, all of us focus on that. I moved here 28 years ago because Austin Elementary was the top elementary school. And the schools have been excellent. Now they're not. Well, they're still pretty good, but DeKalb County is partly to blame, but it's also the fact if we can get local control, then once we have local control, our taxes will be less. It'll be an automatic tax rate. Right now, DeKalb is factored in at 25 mils. Okay, it's grandfathered in, but the state law says 20. So those of you who are still paying school taxes, you will get an automatic. I am for it because of the children, because it has local control, and it's the right thing to do.
I believe that education is a key for the success of future generations. And we know already that the DeKalb County has failed our children. And we need to do something about that. We need to push and try to have a new school district for Dunwoody. As an alternative, I also will be in favor of a school choice where the parents can choose what school the children go. Like if they decide to go to a private school or a public school, but they have the choice. I always like the American dream because the choice that you can make as an American. So I agree in that the education is very important. It's so important that even for the governance, it's important. It is known that people that have good education can be intelligent and educated choices for the people that they elect. So I agree that education is very important, and still to push for a new school district is the way to go.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. We are now ready for our sixth question. And if you could pass the mic to Mr. Thompson.